So dear student, today we will study the ranges of some measurable quantities, physical quantities, and we will see the least count error. Okay. Now range of length in our universe, as you know, the universe, the dimension of this universe can be so large that we can't think over it, and it can be so small that also we can't think over it. But up to which the science has progressed, so we can successfully measure the size of the object, that is 10 raised to power minus 15 meter. Means think there is a 1500. Okay, think how small it is, but we can measure it, and we can also measure the highest possible distance, that is a 3.08 into 10 raised to power 60 meter, that is the parsec. So here we have one Fermi. One Fermi is the smallest distance, 10 raised to power minus 15 meter. Then one angstrom is equal to 10 raised to power minus 10 meter. Then one astronomical unit is the average distance from the sun to the earth, is equal to 1.496 into 10 raised to power 11 meter. Think student, it is how it is so much big. One light year is equal to the 9.46 into 10 raised to power 15 meter, and one parsec is equal to 3.08 into 10 raised to power 16 meter. Means they are so immense, tremendously large. Now measurement of mass. Mass is the basic property of the matter, and it can be measured by some internationally accepted references. Earlier we have discussed about it. Whenever we go outside in a market, we measure mass with the help of some standard weights. So the main standard weight is kept at the various laboratories, central laboratories of different you can say different countries and countries capitals. Okay, so in our country the weight and measurement department is there, and that standard, that 1 kg standard, is placed at that national lab, that is the National Physical Laboratory. Okay, now it is easy to measure the weight in the kgs, but whenever we come across the molecular masses or masses like that, it is very impractical to measure the molecular mass in kg. So we devise a one unit which is known as the unified units or atomic mass unit. Now you have all learned about the atomic mass unit. Atomic mass unit is the mass of the 1/12th mass of the one carbon atom. It is a mass which is equal to the 1/12th mass of the one carbon atom, and which is equal to measurement of mass, which is equal to, so 1 AMU which is equal to 1.66 into 10 raised to power minus 27 kg. So that is the one atomic mass unit. Now range of mass, there is a variety of range of mass. There is a huge variation. Means the range of mass varies from 10 raised to power minus 30 kg to 10 raised to power 55 kg. 10 raised to power 55 kg. This is the variation. See how much the variation of the mass is. Now measurement of time. Now have you think what is second, or how the second is measured? Okay, so second is measured by the atomic clock. What happens, student? Whenever we give energy to any atom, atoms or any molecules, atom got excited and they cross their ground state, their original state, and after releasing some energy, they will again come back to their original state. Yes, you know all of you. If I rub this marker very frequently, so I am providing heat energy to this marker, due to which atoms, although it is an insulator, but atoms excited and they go from their natural state to other state, and after releasing some amount of energy, they again come back to their original state. Now the atomic clock, the concept of atomic clock is that, now 1 second, we are going to define a 1 second. So it is the number of vibration. It is a 9,192,631,770 vibration of the cesium atom, of the cesium atom between the two hyperfine levels of when it is excited from the ground state. When the cesium atom is excited from the ground state, between the two hyperfine level, between the true high energy state level, it makes a 9,192,631,770 vibration, and this number of vibration is called a 1 second. So think, whenever the cesium atom is in ground state and we provide energy, so it can go to the upper state, that is the hyperfine level we are telling. So during that it makes so many types, this amount of vibration, okay, and that vibration we are calling as a 1 second. So that is the measurement of the time. Now the next thing, we are moving forward towards the errors. Now accuracy, precision and precision of the error. Accuracy and precision of the instrument. Accuracy. Now in this chapter deals with the measurement. Suppose in the class of you, if I told to you that you have to measure the length of the ground of the Sumati Academy, then if I one by one, if you are going to measure, I am 100% sure that all of the class members, the readings will be different. So your measured value and accurate value, there is a difference. Why? Because they are due to some errors, okay, due to some faulty mistakes that we have done. So what happened in the real time, whenever we are going to measure anything, we make some mistake. That is a natural, okay, that cannot be avoided. That's why we are learning this chapter, okay. So the accuracy is defined as the difference of the true value minus measured value. So it is defined as the difference between true value minus measured value. So it is defined as the difference between the true value of the object, true value of a quantity y minus measured value, okay. So suppose you are measuring the length of a rectangle which is 10 meter, okay. So suppose you measure the 9.9 meter, 9.98 meter, okay, like that. So there is a error associated with, and that is known as the accuracy, that how accurate, how close to the close to the true value, okay, that is different, that is defined by the accuracy. Now precision. So we'll see precision. Suppose there is a dartboard, okay, on which the players are said to throw a dots. Players said to throw a dots. So suppose many players throw their dots, okay, I am representing by dots, okay, dots. So precision tells about the closeness of the measured value. Here you can see there are some dots which are falling near the center, but here you can see they are close to vary each other, and this is what about the precision tell. Precision tell us how close the measured value are each other. That is the precision, and it is also known as the resolving power of the instrument, that how close the instrument can measure the values, okay. Now we are going to learn the errors. As you know, I have defined that whenever we are going to measure some physical quantity, it is not possible for us that we can measure 100%, we can measure with the 100% accuracy. There is some type of error that we can't make it out, okay. So the error are of two types, systematic error. The errors are of two types, systematic error and random error. It can be of two types. One is systematic error, and other one is random error. Now we talk about the systematic error, that suppose you are measuring a length from your scale, and scale in the end, in the beginning it is somewhere worn out. Means its original length is decreased by some amount. Now if you are going to measure the length, always give the reading lesser than the original value. means this error take place in a particular direction, in a negative direction. Okay, your measurement are going to be in a negative direction. It is always lesser than the original value. Okay, so systematic error is a kind of error in which the error is in a unique direction, either it is positive, either it is negative. So error is a error having some direction. Okay, so whenever the error is placing in a unique direction, we say the error is a systematic error. Now it is due to the instrumental error. Systematic error, what are the reason for the systematic error, or you can say how many types of the systematic errors are. So it is due to the instrumentation error. Okay, sorry, instrumental error. Instrumental error means due to the defect of the design of the instrument. Whenever the error is caused due to the defect of the design of the instrument, due to the defect of the calibration or the graduation, that type of error is known as the instrumental error. And suppose second point is due to the imperfection technique measured by the or used by the observer. Suppose whenever we measure take a temperature, if you take a temperature, if you want to measure temperature, if you keep a thermometer below the armpit, it will always give a lesser value, unless you will put this put the thermometer inside our mouth. So it will give you a exact value. So this is known as the imperfection technique. If you are using the imperfection technique, you will always get a error. And see the personal error. Okay, so it is due to the persons. It is vary from person to person. Suppose if I stand here and always I lay my head in this position, so I always measured a wrong value. Okay, so there are some kind of this is a human body, and somewhere some students, some peoples are slightly shifted to their original position, slightly biased to their original position, so they can measure a wrong value always. So it is related with their imperfection. Okay, so this is the systematic error. It is of three types basically: instrumental error, imperfection technique, and personal error. Now personal error, the parallax is a personal error. Okay, now random error, as the name suggests, whenever we are taking the measurement, and if during taking the measurement there are certain variation of the physical quantity, like if the temperature increase, the voltage of the fluctuation of the voltage, and so many elements that tends to falsified your values, means during the experiment techniques, if there